my daughter was taught in her public school that she could have a female body and a male brain, that she could become a boy, that she actually was a boy. And the schools kept this all a secret from me. They kept me in the dark that my daughter was suffering immensely with body images, with accepting her natural self. And that should never be. The parents I know whose children have come back to biological reality, all were involved in their children. They all pulled their children out of the public schools that were pushing this gender ideology on their kids. And my daughter's 17 now. She's very happy in her female body. And had I not known that my daughter was struggling, she would have had 4 years of school teachers telling her that she was actually a boy. She would have 4 years of using a boy's bathroom. And who knows what would have happened to her. Well, I know she probably would have transitioned and then detransitioned and regretted what she had done to her body, because it's irreversible what we're doing. There's no takebacks. Once you start on a course of transgender interventions, it's for keeps. The hair growth, the body changes, the voice changes, the ruination of secondary sex characteristics, it's forever. So that's why we did the ballot initiative, because we need to safeguard our kids in California, because the government is not doing it for us. They are pushing this on our children. They want more kids to be gender dysphoric and to become medical patients in this movement. I discovered that the school was calling my daughter a male name and using male pronouns because it was COVID and she was going on online school. Everything was done through her iPad. She's right down the hall, and I could hear a male name being called. And then I looked on her homework assignments, and it was all male names and male pronouns. And when I called the school, they told me that they needed to be the safe space for my daughter, which made me unsafe because I was using her female name and male pronouns. And that's when I started to take a deep dive into what is happening in our state of California. I was basically oblivious to any of this that was going on. I'm a good little liberal. I read the New York Times. I read The Atlantic. I watched, CNN. I was clueless to what they are teaching our children at school, despite the fact that I was a volunteer at that school all the time. So they deceive us, they hide it so that they can confuse our kids, and they call this progressive. They call this authentic and loving. This is wordplay. I can think of nothing that is more hateful than telling a child they are born wrong. That's what a transgender child is. They believe that they were born wrong. Who tells a child that? Who says that? Who colludes with that belief system? Yes, child, you are wrong. The only way to fix yourself is drugs and surgeries. And then you'll be authentic. And then you'll be loved. This is a hateful movement. It is horrible what we're doing to these kids, and we see this. Mental health of this generation of kids is at the lowest in history. The number of kids that are cutting, suicidal ideation, committing suicide is exponentially higher because we are telling kids that they are born wrong. We are telling kids that if their parents don't believe them, that they are actually a different sex, that their parents don't love them. That their parents don't love them. What is more cruel to a child than saying your mom and dad who raised you are hateful and don't love you and don't accept you? And you, child, need to disengage from them. You need to run away. You need to stop talking to them. My daughter stopped calling me mom. I became Erin to her. This was a way to disengage with the love I had from her. And I didn't let it happen. I loved her more.
We have another opinion from Erin, which is about a specific school district in California that recently had some clubs that teachers were trying to recruit kids in and hiding it from the parents. And she also paints a picture of what's going on across different districts in California. We cannot put it on YouTube because it's too controversial for YouTube. We're going to leave you a link to this video in the description below. You watch it and let us know what you think.
It is nearly impossible to pass bills that safeguard children. However, we have a ballot initiative process in the state of California where regular citizens can propose laws. So that's what we did. I joined forces with some independents, Republicans, and then me being the Democrat, to write a ballot initiative that will safeguard our children from transgender interventions. This ballot initiative does 4 things. First and foremost, it stops all transgender interventions on minors. No cross-sex hormones, no puberty blockers, and no surgeries for any child under the age of 18. The second thing that it does is it removes all males out of female spaces, from girls' bathrooms at schools, sports teams, overnights. Right now, there are boys that are sleeping in overnight accommodations with girls and parents don't know about it. It also gets them out of the sports at the collegiate level. So that means any person with a male body cannot compete as a woman in any sports in our state. It's bringing back biological reality. If those men who believe that they are women want to have their own sports team, I'm all for it. But they're not to invade in women's spaces. This initiative will also define the 2 terms that make us human, female and male, in biological terms, so that our codes make sense, so that we return to scientific reality. The 4th thing the ballot initiative will do will stop schools from deceiving parents when their student is suffering from gender dysphoria or gender incongruence. We filed our initiative, and what happens in the state of California is that the Attorney General is tasked under our code to write the title and summary. So that's this little paragraph, it's 100 words long, that most voters, that's all they read, is the 100 words. They don't read the small print of where the actual law is. Rob Bonta is well known to be pushing the transgender agenda. He is a plaintiff in a case against Chino Valley for their parental notification policy. So we knew he was going to give us a terrible title and summary, and of course he did. He changed our title, which was Protect Kids, California, Act of 2024, to restricts rights of transgender youth. Those word changes tip the scale, and he knows it. From 2016 to 2022, the number of children that are being transitioned under our tax dollars has grown 4 times over that span. It is quadrupled. The dollar amounts that we're spending on harming children has grown by 10-fold. This is Medi-Cal money that we are using to harm our children. So you and I, we're actually paying to harm kids. Every time we pay our taxes, we are part of that. We're also doing it to foster care kids. We're also paying into Medi-Cal for those over 18 to get these so-called sex changes. We're also paying for male prisoners who think that they are females to get these changes. We're all paying into this giant medical scandal. Each one of us who live in California are paying for it. The reason the ballot initiative is so important, it's not just important in the state of California. It is a national ballot initiative. And I mean that because California is the beginning and end of gender. We are a trans sanctuary state. So even though other states have bans on gender interventions on children, those children, once they come to the state of California, can get gender surgeries and cross-sex hormones, the whole 9 yards, as long as they can get into our state. So it's not just a California issue, it's national. And if we can end what is happening to our children in California, so goes the nation. California is the beginning and the end. We are the root problem. All of our bad laws in California go to the national level. The federal government is copying our bad laws that we started here. So unless we save California, we cannot save the United States from this. The ballot can be found on protectkidsca.com. You can download the petition from home. It takes about 30 seconds to fill it out and 68 cents to mail it in to save a child. Anyone can do this, it costs nothing.